The reality is, in next couple of years, this is going to be in everything. Every job function will have a component handled by artificial intelligence. The reality is, why are people so serious about digital transformation? So if you look at these numbers, that will make a lot of sense. It's 1.6 trillion if the devices are expected in just 2025. And average efficiency gain is about 30%. So that is why when they say digital transformation, this is what we're talking about, the understanding about the combination of IoT and AI together, which provide these kind of efficiencies that you're really looking at. Human neurons, if you understand the cell function, each cell, when it connects to another cell, that's a data point is recorded. The concept of neurons, they started, can you mimic this function? So why is this important? The three blocks comes into existence. IoT we talked about, which is providing the sensor information. Artificial intelligence, which will provide agents. Yeah, and now we're talking about AI agents, okay? And then the kinetic. So think about it this way. The IoT providing current sensor information. The traditional, any sort of large language model doesn't have facts. The business value proposition is pretty straightforward. A self-optimizing business ecosystem. That is what the promise of this technology is, right? When we talk about IoT, Internet of Things, people only understand in terms of sensor. What is a sensor? A temperature sensor, which is a small electronic that does sense a temperature, sense a voltage range that turns into a temperature. But that's not it is. The IoT, Internet of Things, means the entire ecosystem around it. The goal is defined. How to accomplish that goal is not defined. That's where it becomes scary for people in application development. Moving on, when you say AI agent, it is not just one type of agent. There are a range of motion, for that matter, to say. It could be as simple as supervised and unsupervised learning. We're talking about that these are some of the algorithms. So the goal is predict outcome based on past examples. So that's the supervised one. Process automation, it can go up to even 60%, 65% reduction in manual processing. The agents could work a lot more efficient than potentially using a human being. Epic is a fantastic tool. Some people, at least a smaller segment, may just get rid of the middleware. Not ideal, but it will still work. AI agents needs to be monitored. This cannot just let it go because there are too many things that can go wrong if you're not constantly monitoring it. Now, today's it's all about DeepSeek. So that's another alternative. You could absolutely run on premise. People are scared about China factor, but the fact is you could run it locally. Then it will provide equally reliable results as you can think of. If you are seriously invested in Microsoft stacks, these are the tools that you have to work with. Understand these things involves Python, right? It's not C#. So this is a different world. Let's say the requirement is that you need to write a children's story. You say agent 1, write a story. Agent 2, verify that there is no profanity in it, that this is age appropriate, helping different agents to work together. In the simplest form, any prompt has only 2 or 3 things, right? You have the text. What is that you want the LLM to do? REST API is the simplest tool that was available when the web development came into existence. MCP is something like that. Model Context Protocol. This is the kind of business impact you're really talking about. If you're talking about this, 60 to 70% reduction in quality escapes. This is a technology you cannot get away from, and we will have to seriously, there is no way you can avoid it. Today or tomorrow, if you're talking about implementing something like this, you do need a roadmap. Many of these things fail because people say, go to one of these AI classes somewhere and suddenly in 2 weeks, I can put together a prototype. And then they say, put it on production and make it run. It doesn't work that way, right? You need proper planning, assessment and planning, then put a pilot in place and scale and optimize. You could fail in any of these components if you're not doing it correctly. Is LLM going to learn out of my data? The reality is models are already built. Models doesn't need to learn from your data. Either I did a wonderful job or I did a terrible job. Please fill up your feedback.